Hello, ladies and gentlemen. The current situation of high tension following North Korea's sudden attack on Yeonpyeong Island calls for our swift and measured response. Today, we invite two expert guests for a special episode of InFocus to diagnose the situation on the Korean peninsula and discuss how the situation could develop. Join us after the newsreel.
On Tuesday afternoon, North Korea fired dozens of artillery shells into the South Korean island of Yeonpyeong in the first attack on South Korean territory since the ceasefire agreement. South Korea returned fire according to military protocol, firing 80 rounds and deploying fighter jets to the island. The entire military was put on the highest level of peacetime alert. In response to the unprovoked attack, South Korea has halted all exchanges with the North while calling for the support of the international community. President Barack Obama reaffirmed the support of the United States for South Korea in a phone call with President Lee Myung-bak on the 24th. On the other hand, China remains withdrawn, with its foreign ministry expressing concern about calling for further investigations. This attack came amidst heightening tensions following the revealing of North Korea's nuclear facilities and is expected to further jeopardize the situation on the Korean peninsula.
Welcome back. To discuss today's topic, we have two expert guests in the studio. Joining us on my right is Professor Choi Gang, who is Director General for American Studies at the Institute of Foreign Affairs and National Security. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Well, on my left is the Dr. Chun Sung-hoon, who is the Senior Research Fellow at the Korea Institute for National Unifications. Thank you for being with us today.
My pleasure.
Well, what a surprise, actually. The North Korea's fired about 100 shells at the Yeonpyeong Island. Well, actually, this is the clear military provocation, and this is a violation of UN Charter and the Armistice Agreement of Korean War. So how do you evaluate the severity of this situation? Professor Choi,
I think this is the single largest attack carried out by North Korea since the end of Korean War. Actually, of course, there was some kinds of conflict and confrontation between the two Koreas. By using this howitzers or the large size gun is unprecedented. So I think the severity is quite severe. And also, actually, there are some two soldiers, two Marines were killed, and also there are two civilians were killed also. I think this is unprecedented. Actually, I like call it kinds of act of aggression, not just provocation. It's far beyond the provocation.
Yes.
So I think that our response should be the very tough and resolute, and also on the other end, but we have to take into account the side effect of these follow-up measures, which will maybe cause some problems on our economy. So we have to make a balance between our toughness and the reality on the ground.
We will discuss about the ways how the Korean government should take, maybe dealing with this case, but later. But Dr. Chung, would you please give some more comments on this?
I think since the end of the Korean War, we have seen numerous thousands of North Korean provocations so far. But I think this single instance is special in some respects. Number one, this is committed by North Korea's regular forces.
I see.
And it was an open and direct attack into our territory. And also with the intention of killing civilians as well as military forces. So in that respect, this is very special, and maybe it opens a new chapter of North Korean provocation. In that respect, I think we have to regard this incident very seriously.
Yes, by the way, why did North Koreans attack us? What kind of motives do they have?
I think there could be at least 3 to 4 motives behind it. First one, because just right after this G20 Seoul meeting, South Korea has been alleviated to kinds of leading countries, one of the leading countries in the world, and also we were expecting kinds of a celebration of the great success of G20 Seoul meeting. So if you go back to 2002 when we had a World Cup game in Seoul, they tried to chill out the mood in the South. So I think it's the same case.
I see.
So they tried to chill out the kinds of the mood in the South. That's the first reason. Second reason, because actually they engage, I mean the North Korea engaged their kinds of peace offense from the September up to now, and asking some provision of humanitarian assistance, for example, the provision of rice and other kinds of things. But we refused to provide them.
I see.
And then so they offered a couple of meetings on Red Cross talks and also military official talks. But they didn't get what they want from our side, because we actually asked them to make an apology on the Cheonnan first.
I see.
Then we can go back to the humanitarian side aspect. So they didn't get what they want. And also it seems to me that the inter-Korean relations, the initiatives of inter-Korean relations is taken by South Korea, not North Korea, from September to up to that period of time. So they try to reverse that kind of trends between the two Koreas. Third aspect is like they try to put more pressure upon the United States to open up bilateral talks between the U.S. and the DPRK, because actually they showed the international community this uranium enrichment facilities over there, but actually in reverse, against the expectation, United States, South Korea, and other countries, and responded in a different way, because we would not just buy the same horse twice or third time, because they have to come back to six-party talks with a clear action of denuclearization. That was the statement made by Ambassador Bosworth and also made by other high-ranking officials. So they didn't get what they want from the United States. So try to enhance the pressure upon the United States. I think that's one of the main reasons. So, and also, first, maybe it's related to the succession issue. Maybe if it was carried out by one of his guardians, for example, the General Lee Young-ho, that's one of the four, the gang of four. So they try to achieve and also show the people Kim Jong-un, probably the next leader, can carry out this kind of military victory over South Korea, and also that's the way to consolidate Kim Jong-un's power base inside North Korean politics.
I see.
So there could be four motives behind it.
Well, I would like to one more question is relating to this. I mean, the answers, explanation of Professor Choi. If this attack is a part of North Koreans' efforts to bolster ongoing succession process in the North, then definitely it will take a time, I mean, to transfer the whole leadership, I mean, to his son, I mean, from Kim Jong-il.
Right.
That means that there will be more provocative actions from North Korea?
That's a good point, and I think so. For the motivation for this attack, I more or less have same observation with Professor Choi. There are three major motivations, I think. As number one is domestic issue. As you said, North Korea is in the power succession process. And currently, North Korea is a very dire situation, not only economics, but also in domestic politics. There are people's dissatisfaction boiling out of the society.
They did?
And there's some internal chasms within the decision-making circles.
I see.
So North Korean leadership needs something to venture this, distraction out of their society, and they target South Korea as a, this enemy, to foster this tense and warlike, environments. And within this virtual war situation, I think they would try to, proceed with this power succession process. In that respect, at least until 2012, when they say they proclaim the open of the great powerful country, I expect a series of military provocations within 2 years.
Wow.
And another major motivation of this attack, I think, is to intimidate South Korean government and society. As Professor Professor Choi said, maybe one of the minor motivations is to draw the supports and assistance from the Korean government and NGOs, but the major motivation is they want to intimidate our government and people, and make us to worry about, scared about this war, the possible wars, and they want us to succumb to their demand.
I see.
Okay? And they want to destroy our morale, which was boosted by G20, the success of the G20. And the medium term, the short term objective is they want to make South Korean government change North Korean policy or in benign way, like the Sunshine Palace, which is very much appeasement to North Korean government. And in the long term, they want to input their influence in the Korean presidential election in 2012.
Wow.
That is my observation.
I see. Well, it's quite a little bit worry. I mean, we got some worry about the future actions, maybe possible actions from North Korea. But anyway, that there will be the strong criticism from the international community. So I hope, we hope, maybe from the bottom of our heart, that the North Koreans recognize the fact very wisely and correctly. By the way, I would like to discuss about the another quite very provocative action made by North Koreans. That is, they show the uranium enrichment facilities to outside the world. They said that they already installed the 2,000 nuclear centrifuges and is running. How can we interpret that kind of the North Korean action?
I think this is a beginning of the increase in the tension by North Korea. That's actually before that, North Korea actually offered they showed their intention to come back to six-party talks and peaceful resolution of nuclear issue like that. So that's sort of the China channel and sort of New York channel. But as I said before, the United States was quite firm, and also Europe were quite firm. North Korea should show its intention to denuclearize or to give up their nuclear plan by action. But they didn't do it, only the verbal commitment. So they decide to show up the real substantive things, like showing there's a nuclear centrifuge devices, about 2,000. So to increase the tension on the Korean Peninsula, to show the North Korea's capability to proceed the P2 program, there's a uranium-based enrichment program. That would be a very serious concern for the United States, to draw attention from the United States. If you are not going to talk with us right now, you will be facing a very serious serious problem in the future. That's our message. But United States did not buy that kinds of demand at all. And also, secondly, so actually, this is, as Dr. John already mentioned, I think this is the beginning of a series of actions which will be taken by North Korea to deteriorate the situation, to create more tensions and increase this tension level as far as they can. Of course, they know they cannot win the victory over this game. But anyway, this is the North Korean bargaining. But actually, we should be very, very concerned with the possible provocative actions or attack on every kind.
I see. Do you have some other comments, Dr.
This
John?
revelation of the uranium enrichment facilities, I think, is the sheer demonstration of North Korea's dual strategy. In front, they are always saying that they are using these nuclear energy technologies for peaceful purposes, but at the same time, at the back door, they are developing secret weapons. That was the case of the plutonium bomb. They've done this past 20 years. Now they are applying same strategy to this uranium enrichment.
I see.
Up until last year, international community throughout the six-party talks, we have demanded North Korea to, open this uranium enrichment program and to report to the international community and give up. But they've said we don't have no program, no personnel, no technology. That was their position. But suddenly last year they changed their rhetoric and they take steps, gradual steps to show this facility and capability to international community, and they took this chance, this November, the first week of November, as a timing, or appropriate timing to reveal this facility, and then, of course, they're saying this is for peaceful energy purposes, this is for the nuclear fuel for the LWR reactors now under construction in Yeonpyeong site, But as the plutonium case, what they're saying is just the sheer, I think, the deception.
I see.
I'd like to add just one point, because actually North Korea is doing exactly what they had said before. So actually, since the beginning of 2008, they said we are in a process to complete uranium program, or we are determined to have more deterrent capability, blah, blah, blah. So it's not kind of bluffing at all.
I see.
They are saying exactly what they are going to do in the future. So we should very much be concerned with what they are saying nowadays.
I see.
So we should be very well prepared for that kinds of things. It's quite sad to say it, but I think it's wise to be very well prepared for that.
Well, just at the beginning of the discussion, Professor Choi briefly mentioned about how we respond to this North Korea's very provocative action. Well, after Cheonan incident, well, the Korean government responded, I think that quite appropriately. But on the other side of the coin, there are some critics. It was not appropriate, the responses toward the Cheonan incident. So I want to ask you, Professor Choi, how does the Korean government react to this attack? And then along with that one, actually possible, Korea has maintained very close relationship with the USA, and then actually this incident was, attack was carried out in the middle of the military drill. I think, as far as I know, the USA, the Army also they participate in this drill. And so I want to ask that how South Korean government can cooperate with the USA to maximize the effectiveness of the responses to the North Korea's attack.
Okay, first of all, this what we call the Hoguk exercise, this annual exercise, which has been carried out by South Korea and also in support of the United States since 1996. It's nothing new. We informed North Korea already that we are going to stage our annual exercise this period of time. Only the difference is because due to the G20 Seoul Summit, we actually postponed the period. It's nothing new. North Korea knew that we are going to do it. Then they just simply, and also even the exercise itself, it's not really just combined joint exercise, it's rather joint exercise with the support of the United States. The U.S. part is very, very small, so not claimed as a really combined big exercise at all. And also even, and that's my point. Second point is like what kinds of measures we are going to take, what can possibly. Diplomatic front is one, the other one is a more military one. Of course, diplomatically, we can bring that issue to the United Nations Security Council. So, of course, it's like when we did on the Cheonan incident. But there's a big difference between Cheonan incident and this Yeonpyeong, though. This bombing kinds of the attack is quite different. Cheonan, of course, there are some doubt was raised by Russia and even the China. China did not accept the result of the investigation at all. They refused even to take a look at the report at all. And also later, the Russia actually, even the Vice Minister of Russian Foreign Ministry, they just is not. There are some problems with the reports, so they doubt it. This is quite different case. This is this uncontroversy issue because actually clearly done by North Korea. There's a civilian casualties, so we are even though. If we can bring that issue to the United Nations Security Council, I think China and Russia cannot show the same attitude they did in the Cheonan incident. But it's because a foreign ministry, the South Korean foreign ministry, is reviewing whether they are going to bring that issue to the United Nations Security Council or not. But technically speaking, through the United Nations Command here, I think that the United Nations Command will report to the United Nations Security Council anyway this instant. So I don't know what kinds of the outcome will be there. It's quite doubtful whether it's going to be the resolution or President's statement, but it depends upon. But I think that's my bet maybe a little bit like a more closer to the United Nations Security Council resolution, not the President's statement, and also the contents of the statement would be a little bit more tougher than the previous case. On the military front, I think there's of course already the Minister Kim Tae-young said they are planning to deploy more the K9 howitzer, the self-propelled howitzer over there, to increase our defense posture over there, and also maybe we can increase our surveillance capability to monitor the North Korean side over the time. Of course, there is the deployment of the other vessels could be considerable.
So, which means that you said that the Korean government should show more strengthened response to North Korea in dealing with this case. How about you, Dr. John?
I think the situations like this, crisis situation, I think not only South Korea but also other Western advanced countries will face a very similar dilemma. We have to respond in one side effective way and also the other side responsible way. What I mean by effective way, we have to send North Korea clear signal that we won't tolerate any other provocations in the future. we should give them appropriate punishment for this action. And at the same time, in the responsible way, I think, as a the advanced country, South Korea has also duty to not to exaggerate or expand the conflict situation beyond our the management. So in that way, this is like a dilemma we are facing. But I hope our government and people will get through this situation wisely.
Well, I'd like to ask a question to Professor Choi. Actually, I'm very curious about the Chinese response toward this case. What do you think about that?
I think China is in a big dilemma. Because actually over the past couple of months or 3 months, China has showed the attitude that they're going to restore or strengthen their relations with DPRK, and actually supported the DPRK's position very well, and also showed their intention to provide economic assistance as well as the political diplomatic support for North Korea. This incident actually undermined the Chinese position in supporting North Korea very much. Of course, I don't think China will be able to defend North Korea very much. So the dilemma will be on Chinese side, not on our side. So maybe China, and also maybe this is a good time for the United States to persuade China, you should be on the same page with other countries.
Well, time is very limited, so I'd like to ask the final question to both of you. Well, all Korean society, I mean Koreans and Korean society are right now in high tension. So at this juncture of high tension, what kind of advices can you give to the Koreans and Korean society?
So the first word I like to do, so we remain united together. We should not discuss whether this was caused by the policy failure of the current administration. I don't think so. We should remain and also remain united in dealing with North Korea. And also we should do what we have been doing up to now. And also don't be so much scared by this instance. So we will be able to handle this kinds of provocation. Also, governments will be doing what they are supposed to do in deterring the North Korea provocation. But also we have to think about the more preventive measures, not the reactive measures. So I'm sure that as long as we remain united, we'll be able to do so.
Okay, how about Dr.
Yeah,
Chan?
I think the South Korean people should get together and make one voice, a single voice to the international community as well as North Korea. And also we ask the international community, including China, should behave more responsibly and, demand North Korea to halt such bad provocations and behave in a peaceful way. Okay?
Certainly, this is quite very sad to discuss about this incident, but we hope that they do not make same mistakes anymore, right? Well, today, thank you very much, Professor Choi and Dr. Jeon, for being with us today, and we discuss about the North Korea's attack on the Yeonpyeong Island. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
The attack was a clear violation of all international standards in both moral and legal terms. The fragile peace in the islands near the inter-Korean border was shattered, and precious lives were lost. As we were hit with yet another unprovoked attack following the Cheonan, we are all made to understand deeply the continuing threat that North Korea posed to the Korean Peninsula. Again, South Korea calls upon the support of the international community in a coordinated response to ensure such malevolent aggression is rightfully addressed. This has been Shin Sang-yeop for InFocus. Thank you for watching this program.